Everybody, Mark here with Camino Tranquilo with our question and answered number 6 from Santiago. That's right. I'm here in, there's fluff going by. I'm here in Cathedral Square, and I've got just a brief list of 7 questions to go through this time. They're mainly about this trip. When I get back, we'll start doing the other Q&A topics, which I'm hoping will be more about the Camino in general, because quite frankly, I'm not that interesting in my experiences, while, you know, vaguely referentially valuable. So let's get right to it. Let's do. And again, we're in Cathedral Square. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And if you want to ask me a private question that I'll probably steal for this, but I won't mention your name, shoot me an email at askmeacaminoquestion@gmail.com, and I'll get an answer to you, and then I'll steal your question. I'll use it for one of these, which is exactly what I'm doing here. So here we go. Number 1, kind of a repeat question. Any changes since the last time? Yeah, so I really noticed from Triacastela to Santiago. There's a couple of minor variations in the trail. There's one bar that I know I usually go to that has saved my butt. I actually went to one. It was brutally cold one year, and I went there to get a bowl of soup and some coffee to warm back up by the fire, and we didn't go by it this time. I was looking for it for that day. So yeah, the road does move here and there, but other than that, fairly minor. The other thing is they've done a pretty good job of laying in some compacted gravel and chat to make the path a little more even in some places. So that's made it a little easier to walk here and there. But as far as any really dramatic changes, not really. Question number 2, when's your next Camino? So yesterday I was sitting right at a bar right down there, the other side of this wall, texting back and forth with Clyde, and I think we've nailed it down to September of 2027 next year. We're going to leave from Porto in Portugal. We'll do the Portugués here to Santiago. Then we'll go Santiago to Muxía. That should just be about a 3.5 to 4 weeks worth of walking for us old guys. We were going to try to do Lisbon up, but there's some very long days out of Lisbon that there's just no way that we can hack. At our age, there's no way we could do 35, 40 kilometer days. And there's a couple of places we would probably have to do that. So we're gonna cut it short and then extend out to the coast. I've wanted to walk out to Muxía. Clyde's done it when he did his Ingles last September, so I'd like to do that. So I think that's going to be the thing, and that should be me, Clyde, Kelly, and I hope Jake will come up from Australia to do that one, because that was a lot of fun having those guys together. Question number 3, the weather. Yeah, the weather's been just spectacular. I've only had 1 day of rain for an entire half a Camino from Sahagún. I'm spoiled, just absolutely spoiled with how great the weather was. So thanks to Mother Nature and St. James and his ethereal roommate for helping me out with that. That was really, really nice. And, you know, I've posted a lot of pictures of the flowers and stuff. The flowers here are just amazing. Tell you what, I'll put a little picture here. There's a park that's right behind you over there. That has white wisteria in a walkway, and it's just gorgeous. So that's what it looks like. I took a little walk through it and filmed a little video. That's for me and my wife. That's not for you. So you'll have to come here in April and find it yourself. Number 4. This is actually a question from a few weeks ago, but I decided to kind of hang on to it till the end. So, you know, for safety reasons. How much cash did you go to, and how much cash do you carry? You know, this whole Camino, I arrived in the EU with about 250 euros left over from the last time I was in Europe. Since then, I've only drawn about 300 out. I tend to pay for my lodging with a card, and then I'll pay for my evening meals with a card. Other than that, just, you know, having a little toast and coffee in the morning, that's like 5 or 6 euros, and then lunch being about the same, because I eat a very, very light lunch. I don't eat a lot when I'm walking, because, you know, my tummy doesn't like that. So, I maybe spend 10 euros throughout the day out of cash. So it's gone a long way, and I'm taking euros home, and I'll just have them for next time. So I don't carry a lot. When Clyde and I first walked or I should say when me and Fernando and Donna walked the Camino, you kind of had to carry a lot more cash, but you really don't as much anymore because so much is just card-based. Even a lot of the albergues will do cards instead of only cash. But be aware that when you look on the apps, you may need to be aware that you may need to carry cash here and there just for those. So just make sure you have enough to cover an albergue or two if you're in an area that doesn't have a whole lot of ATM service, like Villafranca de Bierzo to Triacastela. There's a little place in there where there's no ATM, so make sure you're carrying enough cash that you get with that. Question number 5. What is some stuff did you take anything you ended up not using? Yeah. So I lied to you guys. When I did my equipment loadout, I showed you I wasn't taking any pants. I panicked, and as I was getting dressed to get in the car to go to the airport, I went ahead and threw on my favorite orange hiking pants that I got from Decathlon, and I wore them on the plane. I wore them in Lyon for one day when I had my couple of days goofing off, having some vacation time. I wore them in Conferada when I went out to dinner with the Spanish teachers, and I haven't worn them since. I haven't worn them walking. It hasn't been cold enough. There was one chilly day that I wore my tights under my shorts, and really I only wore those once, so arguably I may have not needed those, but they weigh almost nothing, so I don't worry about that too much. But yeah, I should have left the pants at home. That was a waste of a pound in my backpack. My Kindle. I took my little Kindle Paperwhite with me just because I do not like reading on my phone. I used it maybe 3 or 4 times. I'm usually so damn tired in the evenings that I'm just rocking to sleep very quickly. So kind of a waste of weight. I didn't use it on the plane coming over. For the first time, I slept on a plane. I fell asleep. As a matter of fact, I missed the meal service on the flight coming over because I fell asleep and woke up as we were descending into Madrid. I've never done that before. Very weird experience. Not sure I enjoyed it. I usually like to watch a couple of movies or something, but whatever. My woolly hat. Yeah, the commenter who said, "Hey, it's April, you don't need a hat." Yeah, you were right. I never used it. I wore my gloves almost every day in the mornings, but my bandana and hat combo of my hiking cap that I wear, it was plenty warm in the mornings. It was never really cold enough that I had to worry about wearing a woolly cap. So, yeah, you were right. Let's see. Oh, the other thing is, my last couple of Caminos, I've taken 3 pairs of undershirts and 3 pairs of underwear, so I'd have an extra day not to do laundry. But I just got in the habit of rinsing out my whatever I had worn that day. I was rinsing those out, wringing them dry, squeezing them in the towel like I taught you guys, and hanging them in the shower, and they would be dry enough the next day to throw them in my pack and then wear those. So really, I got into a really solid 3 weeks of just rotating 2 sets. So I think next time I'll just save the weight and not mess with 2 sets. It's worked just fine. I haven't noticed anybody edging away from me at meals, so I don't think I stunk too much, but eh. So yeah, I would probably, all told, between the pants, my woolly hat, my Kindle, and those extra shirt and underwear, I probably could have saved 2 pounds out of my pack. Not that my pack's that heavy, but yeah, I probably could have saved a little bit. Speaking of Decathlon, the pants I brought were from Decathlon. So I'm here in the Cathedral Square of Santiago, and back over your shoulder to the southwest of the Cathedral Square here, there is a park and a neighborhood with bars and restaurants and shops and grocery stores. There's a Decathlon city. It's like a little mini Decathlon. I just came from there this morning. I bought more hiking pants I bought hiking shorts and some other stuff there. So if you want to give a look at Decathlon while you're here in the EU, there's one that's a 10 to 15 minute walk from here. Very easy walk, very easy to navigate. Jump on your map app and ask about it. And go down there and look around. It's a small store, but they got some fun stuff. Not a lot of backpacks, but I'm assuming if you've made it here, you probably don't need a backpack, or maybe you want to replace a backpack. But yeah, they only had a couple that were interesting. The other option is that way, behind the cathedral, about 3 miles, there is a proper big Decathlon. They are very, very large. Almost like a mini Walmart size, some of them. And they have everything from hiking to cycling to camping to hunting to just everything. I think the one I've been to in France even had scuba stuff, so a crazy amount of stuff. From where I'm at now, it's a 3-mile walk, so a little far to walk unless you're feeling energetic, but you certainly could take a taxi up and the ticket takes it back to your albergue. But that would give you their full range of backpacks, their full range of hiking shoes, boots, accessories, merino wool socks, everything. So if you really want the full Decathlon experience, think about going up there. Question number 6, the Relive app. Somebody asked again, complimented the graphics, and yeah, I think they're fantastic. You can, an associated question, when you're in the app, there's that little white splash at the end that I accidentally leave in some of mine, where it has that little white trailer that says Relive app, download the app, blah, blah, blah. You can turn that off, and you'll see on the ones that I'm going to upload at the next time I do something that all of them have that splash turned off. And you can go in and customize a bunch of stuff, but just get in there and play with the app, and you'll see what's possible. She was asking how much memory does it take, and how much battery does it take, and how much data does it take. So as an experiment yesterday, instead of, well, I did use my GPS watch, but I also ran the Relive app in the background with my data on, and I could not perceive much data at all being used by it, because GPS really doesn't use data to speak of, your location services. So a little bit of battery, maybe 6% extra, what I'm using to. And the phone I have is a Samsung S25 Ultra, so I've got really good battery life on it, and it just did not impact my battery to speak of. And then the GPS accuracy was decent, and it uploaded right to, and it was easy to make the video. So really, if you don't have a GPS watch, and again, I have a Garmin Fenix 5, and I may be upgrading here to an 8 because my GPS receiver in this is apparently getting a little old. I've had this one for a very long time, and it's starting to get a little cranky. If you look at some of my Relive apps, it looks like I'm just running around the woods like a madman, and I'm not. It's just my GPS watch getting a little old and cranky, and I've tried forcing some software updates to it and such, but it's just not helping. So that may be in my future. So anyway, yeah, if you don't want to invest in a GPS watch, certainly just use your phone. You're not going to bust your phone or wear out your battery too fast using the Relive app. It seems to work very well, and you just let it run in the background. You can let it run in the background, take pictures, do all the stuff you need to do. Just don't shut all your apps at once, and you're gonna be okay. It'll work for you. So the last question: taxis. There are taxis everywhere from Saria in. There are signs everywhere. As a matter of fact, I came across this graffiti. So, yeah, little temptation there. I did not take the taxi. I took the Apple, and thus far results are mixed. We'll see how that goes towards the end. And if it goes bad, I'm sorry. So, yeah, taxis are everywhere, and there's a lot of what I want to say, not official taxis, but there's a lot of guys who just run taxi services. You're going to see signs for them everywhere. Any bartender, any albergue worker, anybody's going to be able to help you find a taxi. It's done every day. And as a matter of fact, when I was at the little village, it's halfway between Las Herrerias and Osobrero. I can't remember the Faba, maybe? Anyway, when I went to the little coffee shop, I was having a piece of cake. I love cake. Having a piece of cake, having a cup of coffee, and the little girl there was waiting to go to school. A taxi pulled up, and her and her mom jumped in the taxi, and they went down the hill or over the hill, wherever, to Triacastela or whatever, and they went to school. That's how they go to school. They just take a taxi. So yeah, they're all over the place. Don't worry about that. You're not going to get stranded anywhere that you can't find somebody who is willing to give you a ride, even if it's their aunt or their uncle that's willing to give you a ride to the next town for 10 euros or whatever. It's pretty easy around here. My wife and I came up with saying when we had, we would have lots of people who had never traveled internationally come in to visit us when we were staying in France or wherever, and we just like to tell people, you're not the first American jackass to need help. You're not the first pilgrim to need a taxi. There's a full infrastructure ready to help you out. So yeah, don't sweat that too much. So that's about it. A quick 7-8 questions this time. I'm really looking forward to getting back to the States. I'm going to make some changes to the channel. I've got some resources that I'm going to make available to you folks completely for free. You know, I'm not going to charge ever for this stuff. Some planning, some scheduling, time of year stuff. Just give you a lot of info available for you in a way that you just don't have to stare and listen to this stuff. And we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'll see you back in the States. I think my next video from the States is I will do a full gear postmortem. What worked, what didn't work. Spoiler, everything worked. Everything was fine. I'm pretty used to this stuff. Just give you an idea of how stuff performed, how it wore, and whether I think I could get another Camino out of it. Was it worth the money? And that's a mixed bag, yes and no. I think some of the stuff I use is wildly overpriced and overblown for the Camino, to be brutally honest, but we'll go through that next week. And then after that, we'll get back to the regular Q&As, and I might do, here coming up in 2 or 3 weeks when I'm home, I've had time to think about it. I thought this yesterday walking into Santiago. I may do an old man yelling at clouds episode of what are the things that I really, I won't say don't like, but annoy me about the Camino, and what steals part of the magic of the Camino. And yeah, believe it or not, it's not the pilgrims. So it's it'll be another mixed bag. So anyway, I'm babbling. I can smell the restaurant right down there. Right down there. Oh, there it is. Yeah. See that right there? That restaurant? They've got their grill going, and I saw on the menu they have a grilled, lovely looking grilled chicken, like a half a grilled chicken with a salad and kind of a spicy avocado sauce. So I think I'm gonna go have lunch. Anyway, I'll see you guys back in the States. Thank you all for watching. And please give any questions or comments, questions about the Camino, no matter if you think we've answered them before, how new you are to this, how experienced you are to this. If there's anything I can answer for you, shoot me a question down in the comments or ask me a Camino question at gmail.com, and I will get back to you. We'll see you guys later. Bye.